Well, as you can see tonight, we're in the gymnasium here at UDA due to the inclement weather outside. A lot of rain outside today and still raining as we come in here tonight. So the guests with tickets are seated, pretty much just about time to begin tonight's commencement exercises here at Upper Dauphin for the year 2002. It's a good crowd of well-wishers here to come in and watch these young people as they commence their school career here at UDA and just begin going on to bigger and better things. Most of them heading for college or some kind of employment. But tonight they're going to be celebrated finally as a group here in just a few moments. The faculty will process in first, and they'll be seated in the empty chairs you see here in front of us. They're out in the area outside the gymnasium. They're all ready to go. Mr. Weaver out there has them all lined up, I'm sure. And we'll just about be ready to begin the procession here of the faculty first. And then, of course, following that will be the young men and women of the graduating class of 2002. So we'll be quiet, listen to the band who is about to begin the processional piece, I think, here, and then we'll be set to go. Procession led tonight by Dr. Andrew Hills, who will be retiring after the school session, providing they do find a superintendent in the meantime, and also Coach Hain here right in the center of your picture. He has announced his retirement, as has Mrs. Cummins, who will pick up eventually here, has announced her retirement too. So all of these fine teachers and officials will be sadly missed here, sorely missed here at UDA. It's a terrible vantage point we have here tonight, kind of because of the facilities and because of the crowd. So we'll have to bear in mind that some of the folks will be visible and some of them will not, including not only the faculty but the graduates as well.
Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and your plans will succeed. Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we would like to thank you for bringing us this far. And we thank you for being a part of our ceremony tonight. We thank you for protecting us and keeping our class safe and healthy throughout the years. And we pray that you continue to do so. We ask that you continue to guide the lives and futures of each person here. We thank you for all that you have done for us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Upper Dauphin Area High School Commencement for the 2002 graduating class. We are extremely proud of the dignity and prestige of our commencement ceremony. We ask that you respect our special event by refraining from any inappropriate remarks and actions. Thank you. At this time, I would like to introduce our guest speaker for this evening, Mrs. Susan Rook. Tonight is not the first time that some of us have heard Mrs. Rook talk about our life and the challenges that she has overcome. The other class officers and I heard her talk at a peer helping conference previously this year. Immediately, we loved her unique personality and knew that we wanted to have her as a speaker at our graduation ceremony. We are so pleased to have her with us this evening. So without further ado, I introduce to you Mrs. Susan Rook.
Thank you so much. It's a great honor for me to be here to address such a fine-looking group of seniors. And also it's an honor to be here with the World War II veterans. My father was a B-26 pilot in World War II. He flew 62 missions over Europe, and my husband and I are regulars at the Marauder Men reunions, wherever they are. We are too every year, so it's an honor to be here with you also. We have two boys, John and Peter, who graduated from Lower Dauphin High School, and they both played soccer and basketball. Now they're in college, and they spend their summers in Colorado as whitewater river guides, and tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock, we're going to be in a plane flying out to spend a couple weeks out there and seeing them on their days off. But when John, who's our oldest, was a sophomore, we had probably gone to 6,000 soccer games by then, and I was sitting in the stands with a lot of parents thinking that soccer games were fun, but after a while it gets a little boring. So I looked at the parents around me and I said, you know what? This next game, I'm going to bring my high school megaphone to the game. And they all looked at me like, oh, you're a little odd. And I said, you know, I just think we need to perk things up a little bit here in the stadium. So the next game, I went home and got out my old high school cheering megaphone that's about 3 feet high, and it has the letter CV because I went to Cumberland Valley High School, and so I dragged it into the game, the next game. And I didn't bring it so that the parents would cheer. I brought it so that I could yell at the guys on the field because I thought that would be more fun. So when they would like do something good, I'd say, yeah, Haley, that was a great move. Yeah, nice trap. Yeah, John, that was great. And then when we would score, I would, do something, do some 1950s, rickety rack, yay, team. And then my best cheer was whenever we would have a corner kick and then our guys were at the corner getting ready to kick, here was my cheer. P-U-T-I-T-I-N, put it in, put it in. Well, after a few games, the parents thought, well, this looks like too much fun, so we think we'll start doing it too. So every game, we would do the P-U-T-I-T-I-N, put it in, cheer at every corner kick. And pretty soon, we were playing Susquehanna one night in the stadium, and all the senior super fans were down there in this big mosh pit. And they said, Mrs. Rook, yeah, with the microphone, yeah, come down here. So I went down. And I was in the middle of probably 50 kids and was getting just smashed, and they were moshing and doing all these cheers, and then they started to do the 50s cheers with me, and we just had a great time. And from then, the varsity players came to me and asked if I would bring it to every game. I said, sure. And then the JV players came and said, well, could you bring it to our games too? And I said, Sure. So for the next 4 years, that megaphone came to every game, and then, of course, at the soccer banquets, it was always on the table, and it was a fun season for soccer. What I'd like to read for you tonight is something that I wrote about that senior soccer season of my son, John. Oh wait, I forgot this one part. When Peter went to Messiah last fall, he walked into the dorm that day and he met two guys who were playing soccer for Messiah. And they had spent most of the day together, and at supper, one of the guys said to Peter, "Hey, where'd you go to high school, Pete?" And he goes, "Oh, I went to Lower Dauphin." And these guys said, "Lower Dauphin? The only thing we remember about Lower Dauphin when we played you in soccer was this obnoxious woman with a megaphone. And every time you had a corner book, she'd go, P-U-T-I-T-I-N. And the other guy goes, "Yes, she was so obnoxious." And Peter goes, "My mother." So about 2 weeks later, this kid was in our kitchen, and he was had this like deer in the headlights look, and he said, "If you had told me a year ago that I would at some point be in your kitchen, I never would have believed it." So anyway, that's pretty famous. You might have, maybe you have been to one of our games and heard me, I don't know. Anyway, now I'm going to read to you what I wrote about John's senior season. A few years ago, my son's high school soccer team was playing in the first round of the state playoffs. They had finished their season with an impressive 21-1 record, having just beaten Cumberland Valley for the district title, and they were expecting a long run into the state playoffs as well. The previous year, they had made it into the first round of states, and they knew that this year's team was capable of going much further. John and the other co-captains had complete confidence that this team was going to bring home a state title. The team they were facing this particular night was the only team that had beaten them, and the guys were ready for this opponent. Many of the starters were seniors and had worked 4 long years to arrive at this chance for a state title. Nothing was going to stop them. But something did stop them. During the game, their plan of attack fell apart. They were disjointed and out of focus. They played poorly, lacking their trademark intensity and determination. And when the final horn sounded, the game was 2-1, and they had lost. The game was over. The drive toward the state championship was over, and for the 7 seniors on the team, their high school careers were over. The parents and fans watched in disbelief as the final seconds ticked off the scoreboard and sat in stunned silence as the other team began its vociferous celebration. When we returned home from the game, I sat down at the computer and composed an email which I sent out to family and friends. It was to be the last of many emails I had sent out during the season detailing the victories as well as the emotional investment that John had in his team. He often took an unpopular stand for what was right concerning off-field behavior, and my emails told of these encounters as well. Here is what I wrote that night after the last game. We lost tonight to the only team that handed us a loss earlier in the season at the tournament in September. Their team played real dirty, but they clearly beat us in every way. How we could lose twice to a team that has 8 losses is a mystery. When the horn sounded at the end of the game, John collapsed on the field. And even from the stands, we could see great heaving sobs as he came to grips with the fact that his senior season was over. We watched him lying there as the teams greeted each other in the post-game ritual, and then the starters from the opposing team walked across this field and leaned down to shake his hand. After that, John's coach came over to him. He helped John up and they embraced, and again we could see both of them crying. Watching this was one of the most painful moments I have ever experienced as a parent. John and his coach walked off the field together with their arms around each other. And then John walked past the bench and came over to the fence where I was standing with the other parents. He reached over the fence, put his arms around me, and just sobbed into my shoulder. When he finally looked up, he said, "Where's Dad?" And then he did the same thing to him. In an instant, I had gone from one of the most painful moments as a parent to experiencing one of the most poignant times in my relationship with John. In the car on the way home, I said to Ben, all of our parenting was worth it for that one moment at the fence. So that's it. The 1998 season is over. In a flash, life goes on. The next morning when John pulled up his email, there was a note for him from Mark Shaw, a dear family friend who has known John since he was a baby. This is what he wrote. Dear John, just finished reading your mother's report of your final game, and what stood out to me was not the final score, but the image of you flat out on the field exhausted, and then walking off in the coach's arms. I guess what hit me about this picture was how jealous I was of someone who could give everything he had to his cause. Most of us go through life giving little pieces of our heart away to this thing or that. Few of us ever give everything we've got to what we believe in. We hold so much back for ourselves and our selfish little dreams. My great fear about my own life, John, is that when my time to move on comes, I'll be too rested, too easy in my breathing, too odorless from a lack of sweating. I'll be standing polishing my nails when I should be flat on my face and expended. My prayer for you today, John, is that you can do in life for your beliefs what you have done all year on the field. Not score and win, but give it all until you are spent. Then I pray you will again be picked up by a great coach and walk off to the next level together. My question for you, seniors, tonight is this. What exactly does it take? What does it mean to give everything you've got to what you believe in? What are you going to give your life to? Do you have a set of values and standards that you're willing to risk everything for? Or are you just going to play the game of life half-heartedly, never getting sweaty for what you believe in? I guess the commencement speakers are people who are supposed to challenge you to get out there and grow up, get a good job, go to college, join the service, make enough dough to have the American dream, get a big house, a nice car, a condo at the beach. All of those things will make your life comfortable, of course, but in and of themselves, they will not fulfill you. It's the passion that's deep inside you, the conviction of your beliefs, the courage to stand up for what you know is right. Those are the things that will bring fulfillment to your life. But some of you will spend years chasing selfish little dreams before you discover that meaning in life comes from what you are, not from what you have. Now here's what I know, that life is a series of choices, and you can choose good things, or you can choose bad things. It's totally within your power to make these choices, and it's so ridiculously simple to understand that some people never ever figure it out. A few years ago, when I came home on one bright spring morning, 5 years ago, my husband's car was in the garage when I pulled in, and that was unusual. He met me at the door. I asked, "Why are you home? Are you sick?" "No." "Or did you get fired? Or are the boys sick?" And it wasn't until I saw the tears in his eyes that I realized I had not asked the right question. And that was when he said to me, "Sue, the biopsy last week that you had, they found cancer." In an instant, my life changed, and I knew things would never be the same again. It's not very often in life that you have one of those pivotal moments where you know that things will never be the same again. And at that point, in that instant, I knew I had a choice to make. I could either say, "My life's over. I have cancer. I'm done. I'm just going to lie down on the couch and give up." Or I could choose to reach down deep into that faith that I had spent a lifetime cultivating, and know that that faith was going to be there to sustain me, and that I would find the strength to face whatever life handed me. Now, I drive a beautiful luxury car. I love my car. I love to put the sunroof back, put on my baseball hat, turn on the tunes, drive around. It's a gorgeous car. I love it. But what if I put all my faith in my car and my material possessions? And then when my doctor came to my house that afternoon and told me what it meant to have cancer, what would my response have been? "Oh, no problem, I'll just go out and get in my car and drive around, I'll be fine." That's where I put my faith and my values. No. I chose instead to put my faith in the God that I believe in, one who sustains me because He said He would. What are you going to put your faith in? I'm not suggesting that you have to have the same beliefs I do, but do you have a belief system that will sustain you in those difficult times that you will encounter in life? Graduation marks the beginning of you guys being on your own, being away from your parents, yeah, and finally getting to choose what you want to choose. And you can choose. You can choose good things, or you can choose bad things. Growing up means that you're willing to accept the consequences of your choices and not to blame others when things don't turn out the way you hoped that they would. From the beginning, from the time our boys were little, we taught them this concept that you can choose good things or bad things in your life. It's your choice, but so are the consequences. We taught our boys to figure out for themselves what they believed in and then to be committed to that belief. We taught them to stand up for what they knew was right and to see what was good and not what was bad. We taught them that becoming an adult means that you put away the things of your childhood and you look for greater meaning in life. Last year, our youngest son, Peter, graduated, and we did probably what tons of your parents are doing for you, rented the big white tent in the backyard, got all those stupid little folding chairs, had tons of food, and then we invited all the people that had an impact on Peter's life. 200 people came. We had a wonderful evening. Under the tent, I had set up a table, and on that table, I had put Peter's little Oshkosh overalls and his little striped t-shirts and his sneakers that were this big, and all those pictures in elementary school, you know, where you have no teeth and you look real stupid, and girls, could you imagine you wore your hair that way ever? Well, the guys don't worry about that, but at one side of the table, I had a basket of little yellow ducks. They were Fisher-Price ducks. They were terry cloth ducks that Peter became attached to when he was an infant. And all through his childhood, these ducks were so important for him. They went everywhere with him. And at one point, Fisher-Price stopped making them, so I sent out letters to our friends all over the country and said, if you can find these terry cloth ducks, send me one. And we had a whole lot of people send them to us. And in that basket on the table were about 16 little yellow duckies. And next to that basket of duckies was a poem that I had written for Peter's graduation, which we passed out to each guest. I'd like to read for you, in closing, the poem that I wrote for Peter. This expresses what we believe was the most important thing for our son to learn before he left home. Really, parents, this is for you. Tiny baby who followed the toe-headed toddler, you were always the little brother. When you padded around the house in your Winnie the Pooh sleeper, Ducky was ever present, clutched in your tiny hand. And when you would curl up asleep, thumb in your mouth, Ducky would be there, tucked under your chin. Some days I'd walk into your room and find 5 or 6 duckies lined up on your bed, waiting until you would return for a nap. Your first time at camp as a scared 6-year-old, you hid Ducky in your suitcase so the other kids wouldn't know. Then when you were 8, Ducky went to camp hidden in the bottom of your sleeping bag. One night when you were homesick, you crawled to the bottom of your sleeping bag and found him waiting, and you knew you would be okay because Ducky was there. When you were older, you didn't need Ducky as much, and he moved from your bed to the shelf above your desk. And one day, we put him in your baby box because you didn't want him to get dusty, and you wanted him to be safe. On your birthdays, when we brought out the baby box full of childhood memories, you would always say, "Remember Ducky?" And we remembered what a big part of your life he was. Now that you are a young man, you have put away the childhood things that brought you comfort, for they have become something to remember. You know now that temporal things fade away and lose their importance. You have learned that what really counts in life is faith and trust in an unseen but all-knowing God who will sustain you. He is not a God to be put on the shelf or hidden in the bottom of your sleeping bag. He has asked to be the most important thing in your life, and in return for that, he will be with you no matter what life brings, and has promised to never leave you. This is the greatest of life's lessons, one that will put everything else into perspective. Knowing you understand who God is, Peter, and that your comfort comes from him, makes it much easier for us to let you go. Seniors, this is my challenge to you tonight, that you find something to believe in, something that will drive your life so that you finish flat on your face and expended. It is my hope that you learn early on the difference between saying you believe in something and living like you believe in something. And finally, may you understand the wisdom of choosing good things over bad things. Thank you.
It is hard for me personally to believe that my days as a student at Upper Dauphin are now behind me. Sitting down to write this speech was really one of the first times when I actually realized just how close June 6 was, and also how close college and leaving home would be. Everyone is so anxious for the day when high school is finally over, and when most of us leave the valley for bigger and better things. And really, who wouldn't be? The college life and the independence one gains seem so inviting. Many times I find myself asking, what is there to miss about the last 12 years? However, when I say or think this, it is a mistake on my part. I am not ashamed of coming from this area or going to this school. The many lessons I have learned here will always be with me and help me throughout my life. When I look back at my days at UDA, it won't be the bad times that I will remember. It will be the good times with my friends and the rest of the 80 signatures on the back of our senior t-shirts that define the class of 2002 for me. What a long trip it has been to get to this one moment. 12 long years of school, and for some, 4 years or more after high school. Although most of us say school goes so slow during the day, I don't think one of us can deny the fact that the last 4 years have gone by very fast. I remember my freshman and sophomore years, hearing about scholarships and scholarship winners. It was our class this past year filling out all those papers. I remember taking finals in June while the seniors were off school rehearsing for graduation. It was our class rehearsing this past week while the underclassmen envied us. Just as going from the middle school to the high school, or going from riding the bus to driving our own vehicles to school, was a change, the years ahead of us will be all about change. Major decisions we have made this past year will no doubt affect the rest of our lives. Upper Dauphin is a small school compared to many others, and our class this year was smaller than most. Some would consider that because of such a small number of people and such a small area in general, causes less opportunity, less exposure, and a more sheltered life than students going to an urban school. This is true in some ways, but there are advantages to it. Unlike graduating classes with hundreds and hundreds of students, our graduating class is below 90. This is fine because when you look at each person in the class, you know their first name, and you can most likely tell something about them. In graduating classes of 300 or more students, there's no way one person can know everyone in the class. The one thing I will miss most about high school is seeing my friends. Many of us take for granted the fact that we see these people almost every day. After this year, however, that all ends. Every morning we got to school, went to our lockers, waited for our friends to arrive, and then we went to a class or walked with them until we split ways for different classes. We sat with these same people at lunch, compared schedules with them the first day of school, and tried to bum rides off of them after school. As if you couldn't get enough of these people in school, you then hung out with them on weekends, had a job with them, or visited them when they were working. Even though great opportunities lie ahead for us with new friends and new relationships, I'm sure there isn't anyone in this graduating class who could easily toss aside their past here at UDA. Our experiences here and the friends we made along the way have made us what we are today. In this class, we didn't all know each other personally, but we knew who we were. There were times when we didn't always agree, but this was okay because the individuality made our class a special one. I think all of us, friends or foes, can appreciate the fact that we've made it this far. If I had one wish or hope for this class, it would be to see everyone again at each class reunion. just to check up on each other, see how each one is doing, to see which one of us became the teacher, the doctor, the lawyer, or the athlete making 7 figures a year. To many, this is wishful thinking, but it would be a privilege to all if it would come to pass. There are so many people to thank for helping us to arrive at this point in our lives. Thanks to the many dedicated teachers, administrators, and school board members, and a special thanks for all the encouragement and support from our parents. We wouldn't be here today if it weren't for all of them. They helped us get our feet on the ground, and now it is up to us to take what they have given us and apply it so we may make a positive contribution to society. Many changes lie ahead for all of us, whether it be furthering our education, taking on a job, moving away from home, or choosing a career. The only thing constant is change, but one thing that will remain unchanged about me, and hopefully many of you, is the fact that this is where we came from, made our first friends, and grew up, and to me is what the class of 2002 is truly about. Thank you.
good times past and a time of anticipation of what is ahead. What you see before you this evening is one of the smallest classes of Upper Dauphin Area High School, but one of the mightiest. All of us know every single member of our class by name. We have many memories of each one of our classmates. Our school years seem to last so long, but truly have gone by so fast. We are here today commemorating the end of our school years at UDA, when it seems like just yesterday they were only beginning. Since we were young, we have been told to set our sights high and strive to do our very best. As children, some of us wanted to grow up to be a doctor, sports star, famous singer, or even the President of the United States. As we grew up, we may have changed our ideas, possibly considering becoming teachers, lawyers, or accountants. Once we reached high school, we may have gotten a job in a local restaurant or store and started saving money for the future. Now we are each here, about to walk off of this football field, holding a diploma, carrying knowledge and treasured memories, and we are heading out into the world. Now, what do we do? Many of us have already chosen to attend college, start a job, or maybe even raise a family. However, regardless of what we have been told all along, our goals do not matter right now. When it comes down to it, whether or not we go to college is not as important as it is sometimes made out to be. Whether we become that famous movie star or make a lot of money, it will not prove to be the most significant part of our lives. What is most important is how we are going to make a difference in our world today. Many organizations use the phrase, making a difference. But what exactly does this mean to us? For some, being the best we can may not really measure up to the status of becoming a doctor, healing thousands of people. For some of us, our best may not win us a lot of money, a life of fame, or even a job that pleases us at all. What is going to be most important is how you make a difference, how you affect the lives of the people around you. Not everyone can be the doctor who heals sick people. Not everyone can be famous. But that does not mean that each and every single one of us is not important, because we are incredibly important. We do not have to be famous to leave a mark on the world. Each one of us is priceless, absolutely priceless. Every person in this football stadium tonight is one of the most important people on God's green earth right now. Why? Because each one of us can make a difference. No matter what career we choose, we help make this world go round. Farmers raise the food that feeds people all over the continent. Workers of all sorts build houses for us to live in, produce goods that we need for our everyday use, and fix things that break as time goes by. Teachers impart knowledge and inspiration to help guide children down the correct paths. No matter what we do, we can make a difference in people's lives around us in many ways. Whether we help millions of people or just one, it is just as important, because to the world, you may be just one person, but to one person, you may be the world. And that is what is truly significant. So today, I'm not going to stand here and talk about the usual topics discussed at graduation, what we have learned in the past, how we are celebrating the present, and the future that is ahead. What I would like to do is encourage you, not just to strive to do your best always, but to go out and make a difference in this world. Love with all your heart. Respect people that you meet. Support those who need it. If you just sit around and worry only about yourself and what you can gain, you will have wasted a lot of time and energy. However, if you look around you and reach out to the people around you, you will find true happiness and the riches that money cannot buy. You will experience the joy of helping another person and bringing light into his or her life. You can share your love with people everywhere and spread kindness throughout the world. What could be more valuable than helping others and being a light in the world? In my opinion, there is nothing greater. As you leave today, think of all the people who have helped you along your path through life. Maybe you should tell them how much you appreciate them. Think of some people who could use your help or your encouragement. Maybe you can lighten their load in some way. just by being a friend. Think of others. In the end, it is not going to really matter how much money you have made and how famous you have become. What matters is how happy you are and how satisfied you are with what you have done with your life. And this all comes down to how you have made a difference in the life of another person. At this time, I would like to thank all of the people who have made a difference in not only my life, but the lives of us all. Thank you to all of our families for supporting us, for guiding us, and for loving us. Thanks to our friends and classmates for making school enjoyable and for being supportive through good times and bad. Thank you to all of the faculty, coaches, and staff of Upper Dauphin Area School District for teaching and inspiring us. You have made a difference in our lives, and to us, that is priceless. The people you see in this graduating class before you are the future of this great nation. We are the ones who will be making a difference in this world. And in my opinion, you are leaving the future in a lot of very capable hands. Thank you.
Parents, friends, educators, members of the class of 2002, and our special guest tonight, the vets of World War II. I would like to offer my congratulations and best wishes to the class here of 80 and to our 5 veterans here, although we had 7, but we're appreciative of the 5 that are able to make it. Congratulations to Susan Root and our 4 student speakers. Your words were inspirational and we appreciate your messages. Special thanks to the many award winners last night. We're very proud of the class of 2002, all 80 of you sitting in front of us, and certainly the 5 veterans. For the 80 students, we know that you have done well academically, athletically, and you've done very well with vocational contests, music, art, FFA, essay contests, quiz bowls, etc. I've heard the word at least 3 times tonight, small. Maybe we use the word petite, but you are right. You follow some of the traditional statistics of the graduating classes. 77% of you are going on to further education. 5% are going into the armed services, 6% are employed, and 12% are seeking employment at this time. Of those going on to college, 29% of you are going to a 4-year college, 17% are going to a 2-year college and then transferring to a 4-year college. But it's unique, and we're very proud of the number of 31% are going on to a 2 to 3-year vocational and or technical program. This is one of the unique areas this year would be the numbers going on to vocational programs, and there's the uniqueness of the diversity of programs. It seems like the health field has increased this year, and for the college students, it might be education, what's one of the highest numbers. Last night, you were awarded over $119,000 with the potential over 4 years of over $401,000. Yes, college is expensive, but I'm sure that you earned it. To the new graduates, life is but a joyous journey. I try to think of something unique. Ironically, our paths have crossed several times. I'm not sure why, but I was your substitute principal in middle school, yes, and at the high school. And I calculated, you have had more principals than I like to think of. You had 3 at the elementary school. You had 5 principals to work with at the middle school, including myself, and you had 3 principals at the high school. That means you have to be a tremendous group with flexibility and perseverance. I have walked with you in many cases because you're the last class to have gone to kindergarten in 4 elementary schools. Then you moved to the new elementary school. I've been your principal a couple times, and I know your potential. Your potential is great, even though your numbers are small. My recommendation and my message to you is please be all that you can be. Do your thing. Go to college. Go to work. Go into some type of service. Go into the Peace Corps. I'm going to recommend to you, return to the Valley. I'm going to tell you, it's a great place to live, it's a great place to work, and it's a great place to bring up your kids. To the World War II vets, I salute you. Isn't it ironic that today is D-Day? Isn't it ironic? We didn't plan it that way, but it is ironic. Isn't it interesting? Very, I don't know the adjective or whatever, but we have a parent here and a granddaughter. So we bring the generations together. Isn't that what community is all about? Bringing us together and bringing generations together. You know, veterans, you represent classes of 1943, 1944, 1945, and 1946 with one of the schools at that time in the Valley here. We're very proud of you. You've served us well, and we're honored by your presence and being able to award you a diploma tonight. To all the graduates, and certainly to the veterans receiving a diploma tonight, good luck and best wishes. Thank you.
I would like to take this opportunity to welcome everyone here tonight. Thank you for coming out on this lovely evening. I'd like to acknowledge and thank our special guest, Speaker Susan Rook. Thank you for your inspiring words. I'd like to acknowledge any school board members that may be in attendance this evening, either by standing or raising a hand. I'd like to acknowledge Superintendent Andy Hills and his administrative staff. And I'd like to deviate just for a moment and point out that this evening marks the final graduation ceremony that Dr. Hills will attend here at Upper Dauphin. Dr. Hills, would you please rise just for a moment? On behalf of the Upper Dauphin Area School District and everybody who resides in the district, I'd like to thank you for your many years of service and contributions. To acknowledge the faculty and staff who are present tonight. And most importantly, I'd like to acknowledge the Upper Dauphin Area High School graduating class of 2002. You know, this year's class represents the very best of what Upper Dauphin area has to offer. You have all distinguished yourselves in so very many ways. Your years of dedication, your work ethic, and your perseverance have gotten you here and are going to take you very far. Knowing so many of you personally and having had the pleasure of watching you grow up makes me feel especially proud and very lucky to be president of the Upper Dauphin Area School District Board of Directors tonight. And I also feel very humbled in that I have the honor of presenting you with your diplomas in a little bit. Also this year, we have a unique, historic, first-time presentation of diplomas to several members of the UDA family whose lives were disrupted by war and service in the military, preventing them from attaining their high school diplomas with their classmates. So tonight, we honor these veterans by graduating them with the very special members class of 2002. I would like to ask that as we make the presentation of diplomas to the veterans, that everyone in attendance who has served in the past or is currently serving in a branch of the military, any branch of the military, rise and stand in honor of these veterans that we graduate tonight, and share with them the recognition that you all so justly deserve. And to all of you who have served or are serving now, please accept heartfelt thanks and appreciation for your service to our country and for making it a better and safer place. Thank you. To all of our graduates, we trust that you will take with you a solid foundation on which you can build your lives, whether it be in the workplace, military service, college, trade school, wherever your lives may lead you. Our thoughts and prayers go with you as you leave this evening and become the leaders of tomorrow. We wish you the very best that life has to offer. And we pray that Almighty God will richly bless each and every one of you all the days of your lives. So with that, congratulations, class of 2002, and good luck.
Mr. Buffington, Dr. Hills, the students and veterans seated before you have met the criteria set forth by the Pennsylvania Department of Education and the Upper Dauphin Area Board of Education to graduate and receive diplomas. Ladies and gentlemen, may I introduce to you the Upper Dauphin Area class of 2002.
The Upper Dauphin Area School Board is pleased to grant a high school diploma to veterans who served in the United States military in World War II between September 16, 1940 and December 31st, 1946. These veterans attended high school between 1937 and 1946 and would have been a member of a graduation class between 1941 through 1950. They did not graduate from high school due to entry into the military service. Two of the men who applied for this recognition are recently deceased, and their diplomas will be sent to their families. This evening, the Upper Dauphin Area School Board is proud to present diplomas to our veterans. Ralph C. Evans. Robert L. Huffman. Elizabeth Miller. Megan Lee Foltz. Tara Nicole Miller. Janelle Ray Walters. Jennifer Lee Shale. Elizabeth Ann Diddy. Jennifer Lee Evans. Jenna Lee Motter. Alexander Lewis Langens. Ashley Elizabeth Klinger. Kendra Christine Cucker. Nicole Weiss Yordi. Tiffany Brooke Kunkel. Amy Lynn Stroud. Amy Elizabeth Ward. Sean Keith Simpson. Justin David Wiest. Jason Charles Troutman. Patrick L.F. Coleman. Jeremy Lynn Strohecker. Dwayne Lee Lauer Jr. Eric James Olenek. William Roy Fisher Jr. Joseph Robert Wyatrowski Jr. Todd Stephen Williard. Eric Stephen Wolf. Austin Michael Boyer. Jeffrey Howard Teeter. Timothy David Wright. Stephen Lynn Minnick. Jason Mario Dunkelberger. Maggie Elaine Savage. Tony Lynn Sejic. Brandy Nicole Leitzel. Mallory May Miller. Alicia Nicole Engel. Molly Ann Dietrich. Amanda Lynn Furry. Karen Michelle Lishko. Shannon Marie Zerby. Story Brooke Peters. Christy Lynn Rickert. Sheena Tanya Etzweiler. Jessica Judy Schwartz. Christine Lorraine Papandrian. Rebecca Kathleen Hummel. Joshua Mark Heim. Michael Jared Welker. Kevin Danny Smar. Michael Christopher Guston. Jared Andrew Kessler. Stephen M. Shiro. Eston John Huffman. Jeremy Michael Patrick. Larry Walker Ford III. James Arthur Reed III. Zachary Benz Buffington. Wade William Whitmer. Matthew Glenn Buffington. Joshua Scott Peters. Curtis Andrew Salve. Andrew John Blyler. Wendy Lynn Dietrich. Katie Beth Hassinger. Tyann Ashley Miller. Callie Ellen Hassinger. Jeffrey Allen Noel. Ryan Robert Troop. Joshua Michael Curtis. Joshua Bradley Bush. Justin Robert Mattern. Justin David Morgan. Damian Charles Silks. Ryan Edward Fessler. James David Weaver, Jr. Ethan Todd Waters. Dustin Carson Belak. Robert Frederick Snyder III.
May the road rise to meet you. May the wind be always at your back, the sunshine warm upon your face, the rain fall soft upon your fields, and until we meet again, may God hold you in the hollow of his hand.
wait a minute. Hold on, one more time. Look here, Beth. You've got to take the cap off the thing. Okay, that's good.
Get it.
That's good.
Thank you.
Please give out on
Okay, you can stay there.
You can't win.
You gotta be quick around here, Rita.
Great job. Great job.
Okay, you got it. I was looking, I couldn't find you. Congratulations.
No, I got to turn right against the wall. It's out there somewhere. Okay, I'll be there.
I didn't get anywhere.
Yeah, I got a card for you, but I got to get it out. I made it back. That's what happened in my head.
I know.
These things really hurt your head.
At least it's not raining.
What's he doing?
Think she's gonna cry?
Do you want to go to Karen's?
Can I hold you?
See what happens?
Look, what's happening? Can I hold you? I'm gonna be shy. Let's go.
There you go, you're all right.
At least we didn't cry though.
Oh, not the way she got kicked out there.
Excuse me.
I didn't tell.
Oh, okay. I think this is
Hey, Larry.
You're an email now. Yeah, we're living with his mom.
Sunday. I'll be there. Sunday? Yeah.
You're gonna go get the car down. Good. Shut. Wait until I don't know. I gotta go. Congratulations. I will. Go, girl. Yeah, you will. I'll be at work. It's your first. Oh, that's Tracy.
Make your way.
Can we come in? You can come out if we can come in. No problem. Just keep moving, nice away. Somebody's moving. Oh, here we go. Okay, wait, I feel him in the way. Yeah. Yeah, get in here, squeeze in.
Just the one. There he is.
He's like, we can't They're already in.
We need it. We won't go
Oh, that's right. We do need it. They're just coming right from this side.
Here, you go ahead.
Don't want to come to me. Oh, hello there. Could be worse.
Now watch these steps here.
2 steps annihilation.
No, you're going to do that to me. You better get a cell phone.
I'm next to ride the Great Fair. I'm riding the Great Fair.
Hey, how are you feeling, buddy?
Good, how you doing?
Good. Thanks.
Your dad yelled, oh, really? Yeah? That's why we did it. Well, his dad did it. Your face is in the camera.
My rider's leaving me.
It's not really took a page after this. You just stand for it.
No, keep it anyhow. Keep the whole suit. That's why we got to pay almost $30.
Hey, Joey, you know what?
That's why they made such a deal. They call it
Instantaneous once a raindrops hits it, it crumbles.
It's like those new things. Those are like
Ungraduated.
Go back here. Yeah, that was my whole thing. We're just like riding and like, okay, get a picture and then ride. I don't think she's really. I ran out of film. I forgot my other roll. It's kind of dumb, but I was gonna rewind it, but I have really funny pictures of her.
Annie and Megan were supposed to come
time, but they never showed up. I'm so glad. How are they going to do their Tim had a ticket for
I'll be there.
I don't know, but they're like always something in July.
It wasn't July. It was down or like in July. I walked out here. No, it's just like around. I brought TikTok. This was
Don't shake hands.
yesterday. I know. Steph, you might as well go back in.
I have no idea where my mom is, or I knew that was my family.
She was with her.
But see, the thing is, I got the car keys. So you hold the power.
I'm going on my way inside now. What are you guys doing?
Let's get going. It's the best thing, so I can see. You're on camera. Turn around, Jenner. You're on camera. Jenner! You're on
Give her cell phone number. Tell her. We get to it. Oh my god, I forgot about that.
So eat this.
Ashley, stop.
I'll see you guys tomorrow.
She's horrible.
I'll go buy this video since I'm on it so much.
Yeah, you gotta at least buy something.
Stop it.
Stop crying. Okay, everybody try it again. Ready?
I don't get that. I don't get that. I'm not wet. No, I cry easily. This is so bad. Oh my gosh, look, you can see the doorway now. Let's tell them we don't want to graduate. Look at the camera.
I know. It's a tough road, but you can make it.
I know.
Let's try while we're in.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna stop there.
You over there, big guy? Hey. Congratulations.
Thanks.
How much dirt? I got a picture, Nana.
You got a picture?
I took a picture. I took a Kendrick.
You're on this athletic field. Oh, sorry.
Well, you know, that's what happens when you're at your student outside. Actually, every time I look at it, I said a word.
Hold on a second.
Oh, I almost walked through that. My bad. I know. Sorry, Stuart. Did you get one of them? Find a blank wall and not the...
Sign to it. There's a lot of running.
Oh, yeah. You promised me I'd win. Anybody besides one. Ready? I am so excited to get out of here. I cannot express to the whole class how much this day has meant to me. I'm so glad it's gone, but good luck to everybody, and I hope you're very successful in the future.
There you go, Chris. Thanks.
letting me go. Somehow you did pretty good on the test. I was pretty big. Bob said he kept denying me. He goes, "You were one of the first ones to go." I'm like, "Oh, thanks." I know I had to pack her stuff. Okay. And hi.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right. See you later. Where are you going? I'm going home with Shannon. She has
Shows off my eyes. Way up.
I can't believe it.
Way off. I can drive you upstairs. Naira, you got over. Oh, the action's over.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. At least you're smiling.
Wait, Mom. I know I'm coming. I'm just coming over there. Yeah, well, yeah,
Told me to get you guys moving. You guys following.
Hey, Rob.
Rob.
Hey, Zach. Zach. I did wave to jail already.
All right, there you go. All right. Hey, no, wait. Hold that pose. Hold that pose for just a second. All right. Okay. That's great. Well, the party's about over. The gymnasium is about half lighted, and Mary Jane is she's ready to pack up and go home. So I guess it's all over for the class of 2002 as they depart here now. You've seen a lot of the young people. Couldn't get to see all of them due to the weather again. Outside it was raining when they were outside at the gazebo or out in the courtyard. So kind of limited the amount of camera work we could do out there. But it's over, and the excitement is dying down here at the gymnasium, and we'll soon be saying farewell to the class of 2002, and indeed wish them all the very, very best. They've been a proud class, a young class, a small class, but by gosh, as the speakers have mentioned more than once, a mighty class. And so we wish them nothing but the best that the world has to offer, and we'll look forward to seeing them again when they return to their alma mater here, UDA. So, Dale Calnan saying thanks again for allowing me to videotape this special event, and we'll catch you later.